What's up, all? It's Assist Shay Sayss, and joining me today is Grammy award-winning artist and R&B legend Macy Gray. How are you doing, Macy? It's an honor to speak to you today.
Hey, I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you for asking. So obviously we're gonna get into a lot in terms of music. I know that you dropped a single, "Undone," with the California Jet Club as well, and you have an album coming out. So we definitely got to talk about that as well. I'm super excited. But before we
Okay.
get into that, I want to ask you some questions. Even just going back into the '90s, since the Free Britney movement started, everyone's been going back and criticizing how the media treated famous people in the late '90s and early 2000s. So I wanted to know your opinions on that criticism and controversy.
About Britney or about the
Well,
which part
about
of
Britney and whether you agree if that there was a lot of criticism within the '90s of how people were treated, where people like I want to know your stories.
Oh, I don't remember there being a big difference between then and now. I
Okay.
think Whitney's on a she's it's different for her because she's so famous, and she went through a time where she was always in the news about something. So it's I think it's different for her, but I think I don't know if there's a big difference between the way media treats things now as they did back then. I think there's a lot of misinformation, or there's been attention brought to things that are reported that just don't turn out to be correct. So I think we view it differently. I think like when you hear information now, your first notion is to not believe it because we've been lied to so much. But and I don't think that was necessarily the case back then. But um, it's just she's just another level of fame, though. I don't. She. It's. I think it probably changes for her every day.
Yeah. So with
Yeah.
that being this, like the back end being the same, talking about more of distribution of music, like what has changed in the music industry over the last 20 years that you've noticed? Is it easier to get your new music out there?
It's easy. It's like they've made it so it's push button. You can like upload your music and it'll be on the platforms in 2 days, which definitely didn't exist when I started out. But because of that, um it's so oversaturated. I don't know. People realize every week 50,000 songs get released every week now. So it's kind of wild to put your music out there and have to somehow rise above all that, or you just have to find all these unique ways to get people to get turned on to what you're doing. And when I was coming up, it was more of a formula. It was like you do this, you do that, you do this, you do that. And now it's like you got to do all these millions of things. So it's easy to put it out there, but to keep it going, I think they really messed that up, which is why people release like a song once a month, because they don't set things up to last like they did when I was coming up.
So simple, but still yet complex.
Yeah, I think to me it's more complex because they don't it doesn't last like when I was like a song will be on the charts for like 2 years. Like you be in the top 10 for like 2 years just chilling. And now you get like maybe, a few weeks, and
Yeah.
after that nobody cares. So I don't know. It's a whole different world, and it's a whole different art to marketing yourself and putting your music out there, and it's a whole nother level of you know music being released. There was no 50,000 records coming out every week. I've never even heard of that before, but it's real now. So
Yeah,
it's
that's
good for
definitely.
the fans, but at the same time, how are you going to listen to 50,000 records every week? You don't really get a chance to enjoy everybody.
That's so true. And that's actually news to me as well. You definitely educated me about that because I didn't even know that.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
It's crazy. So, your next album will be your first as an independent artist. And actually, a lot of young musicians are going that route nowadays, considering the predatory contracts music labels are known for. Um,
Yeah.
is it more profitable to be independent?
Absolutely. There is a huge stack waiting for you if you can be even moderately successful at setting at releasing your own records and albums. Definitely. It's a the music business has always been good business. You just have to figure out how to make it good for you and keep it good. There's just like this myth that it's this dirty, awful business that robs everybody. And yes it is, but but you can, if you know what you're doing, you can navigate around that and totally win. You know what I mean? You don't have to be a victim of that, I don't think.
Yeah. So you did
Especially
mention about like the music industry being very saturated. And T Pain actually said the other day how he felt like a lot of artists do sound the same sometimes. But my question to you is like, how can one stand out within a saturated industry like the music one?
stop doing that same old record like he was talking about. Oh my God, that's driving me crazy. Because it's almost it's almost like it's just a vibe now. It's like noise. Like you hear all those records and you're not even really listening. It's just on. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And it's a vibe and it's cool and I get it, but I just think that I just think everybody's ready for something new, you know, and I'm hearing new music. Like I'm seeing what Young Thug did. I thought that was amazing, and
Yeah.
I think and that made me feel good because I feel like okay, cool. Now everybody's ready to move to a new direction.
Yeah.
Now you're gonna start seeing people be, you know, brave and doing what they really want to do instead of feeling like they have to do that same, you know, record Future was doing, you know, 10 years ago. Like it was, you know, I don't even mean that as a criticism. I just, well, I do actually, but it's just so, you know, we've heard it, and I'm glad that everybody's ready to move on. You know.
No, I totally agree. So you mentioned Young Thug, but you are known for like your unique raspy tone and your soulful style. Is there any
Mhm.
new artist out there that you feel matches your energy of music?
No, I always did my own thing, and I think that's been like my upside and my downside. You know, I kind of have my own little planet of music, and you know, a lot of people love it, a lot of people don't, you know. But it's really all I know how to do. You know, I just did an album, and I'm sitting there like maybe I should do, you know, and I didn't know how to do what everybody else is doing. So, um, you know, it's just kind of like it's just my music, and the people that play with me totally get it. It's, you know, so it's cool. But I don't think you can really. I don't know anybody that I sound like.
Mm.
You know, thank God for them.
No, I definitely agree. Like, keep doing you, Macy, honestly.
Thank you.
So, what advice would you give young artists who's trying to make a name for themselves right now?
Um, God, I'm so bad at advice.
On the
I
spot, I know
really,
it's really hard.
yeah. Um, well, it's weird to put out advice because everybody has their own path. There's like, you know, 50 ways to get there. You know,
Yeah.
um, so it's hard to say first do this and first do that. But I think that not to sound corny, but I think love conquers all in music. I think if you love it and you are genuinely passionate about it, then things will happen for you. Um, and I think it's important to get good at what you do. You know,
Mm.
even if you're still doing that same old record, you know, like be great at it. You know, to try to be the best at it. You know, so um, but it's something that you really have to love because there's so much to put up with. And if you don't, if you're not really all in it, you won't do the work, and it won't work out for you.
For sure. Practice makes perfect, is what they say.
Exactly.
So let's talk about Undone. You just dropped this single as well, as I mentioned earlier. What is Undone about?
So uh, I'll just say my interpretation. It doesn't have to mean this for everybody else, but my interpretation is just um, being in. What is my interpretation? You know what? I've never been asked this question. What is it about? Okay, so it's just that emotion of of being in a relationship, any kind of relationship where you're always guessing, where you have to, where is he? What does he mean by that? We just had a conversation. I don't know what to do, you know. Um, just always being left without the answers in a relationship, which is so frustrating and can be debilitating. You know, it can get really hurtful. You know, so that's what it means to me. But I think you can interpret that song a million different ways.
No, I totally agree. When I listened to it, actually, I got the same feeling, but I also got like ghosting, which I was like, I wonder if this is like the same mindset that you were going for in the message that you was going for in the song.
Yeah.
But
Ghosting, I didn't think about that. See, that's what I'm saying. You should interpret it your own way because it could mean that too. You know,
right,
that's
to each his
actually pretty
own for
cool.
sure. So when we
I'm gonna
hear
say
this
that
song
this
on,
time. It's about ghosting. I'm gonna just start saying that. That's better than what I thought. I think.
no, I loved your answer as well. I feel like it kind of like blended together well.
Yeah. Okay.
So are we gonna hear Undone on the album as well? And when can we hear your new album?
So the album is September. The date is beyond me. I don't know yet. But uh, yes, Undone is on the record.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And is there any song that you can share with us right now that we should be looking forward to hearing on the album?
All of them. It's a great album. I'm really proud of it. Like everybody went all in. It's different because I made this album with my band, the California Jet Club. So it's not a regular Macy Gray record. There's a lot of like different textures and levels to it, and more influence because the guys are wrote on it, and this is my first independent record, so it was made a little differently, you know, and so I'm excited. You know, it's definitely fresh for me, which I needed, you know, and so I'm lucky to still be doing it and feel new. You know what I mean? And so yeah, I'm looking forward to it. But it's only a month away. September, the year's going so fast. You know, September
Yes.
sounds like oh, but really, it's just 6 weeks away when you think about it. No, not even that. 5 weeks away. Oh my God.
Yes,
Not
August
even
is
that.
here.
Today's the 30th, right?
Yes, August is here now.
Yeah, it's a month away, and then you got the holidays, and then it's a wrap. Just forget
Yes.
about it.
Well,
Yeah.
we're super excited, Macy Gray. We can't wait to hear it, of course. And we are so glad that this is your first independent and it's going to be many amongst the rest, I'm sure. Thank you so much for being here with us today.
All right, thank you. I had a good time.
Of course. I'm glad you enjoyed. And thank you all for watching. Please follow Bold TV on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok for more. And have a great day.